the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network, back in action for your Wednesday night horsepower filled evening. The A.S.M.R Hauck Designs Cup Series fires things off for race number 5 this season. Only one previous race winner in the field here tonight, so will we see a fresh face into victory lane? We're going to get ready to head trackside as we have already closed the day on happy hour, as well as the premier racing setup.com qualifying session. Nick Burlow going to walk away with the pole position here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway. Drivers just around the corner from making their way to the starting grid. So what do you say we get rid of some of that official track information and give you a little glimpse how things are shaking out in the points so far this season? There you can see Christian Aponte not here tonight, so no back-to-back repeat winners once again. That chance will be thwarted. Only Derek Moore here inside of this short 11-car field for tonight's race. So look for Moore to reclaim that top spot, walking away from Chicagoland Speedway here tonight. The Duck and Run 120 right around the corner. Speaking of right around the corner, looks like most of the field already into their starting position. So as we head trackside, how you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV Land, race fans, glad you can all join us here tonight. As always, David the King bringing you all the calls from trackside. We're already trackside, awaiting that official word from the pace car, and we will begin tonight's show. And man, a short field here at Chicago, that's going to lend its hand, I want to say, to some very tight, close racing. I think drivers may be a little more apt to push the envelope. We've seen a lot of very racy moments in happy hour. Drivers right there leaning on each other's doors. So we'll see if they continue to do that here in this long race, 120 laps around this mile-and-a-half speedway. A long way to go here tonight from Chicagoland, so we'll see how these drivers feel. We'll see what happens in these first few laps. Official word from the box down to the pace car. Let's ready to roll, and there you go. Ford Mustang going to lead the field off. As your starting lineup looks a little bit of something like this here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway, walking away with the Premier Racing Setup.com Full Award for the first time this season behind the wheel of that number 51 machine. Carolina kid Nick Burlow takes the top spot. Alex Wiggins driving with a little bit of chip on his shoulder, still sporting that Detroit Lions pride. On the outside of row number 1, Cody Schultz and Daniel Jensen back in row number 2 here tonight. Sliding inside row number 3, starting in that 5th position, the fast as always number 16 of Derek Moore. Andrew McConville will start to his outside. Jake Doving and Jeffrey Engel. In row 4 tonight, Zach Miller, Ryan Rose. Round out your top 10. Dave Gage, well, I don't know. Dave with some issues here in qualifying, was running well in happy hour. We'll see how it goes here tonight for Gage as the field off of 4 for the first time. Pace car in. We are ready to go here tonight, and green flag flies for the first time here from Chicagoland. As we expected, some tight racing here on lap number 1. Everybody clean and clear of that wall out of 4. That was a trouble spot in happy hour. Schultz looking to the bottom now. Moore slotted up 1 position from where he qualified. 5th to 4th for the moment. Things looking pretty calm so far here. You can see a lot of speed underneath the hood of that 16 machine. He's been hanging it to the high side. Moore now up another position, looking for 3rd. Schultz and Moore going to go at it for that 3rd position. Woo! Right behind him, Brian Rose going to thread the needle just in front of Andrew McConville. Man, that seems to be a little bit of an action spot. What do you say we go right there? We'll drop the timing and scoring this time around over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find and follow along with your favorite driver in the field here tonight. Let's go back to that battle around that 4th, 5th, 6th position. A little bit of a kerfuffle going on back here. Made a little bit of headway for a while, but now dropping back to that 5th position already. Derek Moore heading backwards as Rose picks up yet another position. Biggest mover of the race so far, 5 laps in, up 6 spots. Brett's Electric may shock a few people here tonight. Yeah, you like that pun, didn't you? May shock a few people here tonight. Heading from the back to the front, very quick, very early, just 6 laps in. Averaging about 1 position per lap so far. Feet gonna get a little bit harder for him now, as he is inside of that top 5. The pass for position is going to be a little bit harder with each continuing lap. The Big O tires is number 10 of Andrew McConville right behind Moore now. They've got Dofing looking to the outside. Or we apologize, that's the 89 of Jeffrey Engel. Dofing back there in that 13 machine. Just behind him, lurking in the background. We may have a little bit of strategy going on here in the back. Let's take a look here at this Panini number 4 machine. Daniel Jensen, he's got the Circuit City number 38 of Zach Miller right behind him. Dave Gage right there as well. And these guys just look like they intentionally gave up a little bit of ground, staying just about a second off of this lead pack. Interesting to see these 3 drivers sort of work with each other in the back. See if it pans out, if the strategy works out for him. Jeffrey Engel now going to pick up a position on Ryan Rose, as Rose struggling a little bit on the bottom side of the racetrack. Field looking to go single file for the most part. The top side of the speedway, you can see a little bit of a battle there. I believe that is Cody Schultz and Alex Wiggins. Yes, it is second and third. Jeffrey Engel sitting in that 4th position. He's ready to pounce. Engel with a lot of speed here tonight. That Turner Trucking Company hauling some to the front of the field. 10 up, 10 down as lap number 11 going to go on the board. We've got a little bit of moving and shaking going on here. Jeffrey Engel up 5 positions from where he qualified. Ryan Rose up 5 positions from where he qualified. Daniel Jensen dropping 7 from the start of tonight's race. Big hit for Jensen. And again, it just looks like Miller, Gage, and Jensen, they're just kind of hanging out in the back right now. Hanging right around that 3/4 to a second and a quarter away from this lead pack. Maybe distancing themselves in case something goes awry. But for the moment, the front, for the most part, it looks like drivers are pretty content. Everybody except for this 89 of Jeffrey Engel. Looking for the front, he's got places to go. He's going to move right into that 2nd position, move Alex Wiggins back to 3rd. That's going to drop Schultz out of the podium spots. As we do start to see a little widening out, a little bit of spreading apart in the field here. Cody Schultz all over the back end of Alex Wiggins. McConville and Rose right there mixing it up right behind him on the racetrack. There you can see those 2 drivers just off in the background. Gonna jump around the racetrack just a little bit. Let's head back to the battle between McConville and Rose as Andrew takes it to the top side of the speedway. That's going to cut off that run from the bottom of the racetrack for that 58. Unable to keep the momentum as the high side will win the race into 3. There you can see McConville easily through the center of the corner. Going to pull about 2 car lengths worth of an advantage by the time they make their way across the stripes, of struggling just a little bit here after a quick start. The 58 of Rose falls back to 6th. That means the battle for that second and third position going to pick up quite a bit. Cody Schultz right there. Andrew McConville, move him up into the mix. Move him into the conversation. Battle now for third between McConville and Schultz. Top 2 starting to separate themselves. Burlow and Engel walking away from the rest of this field. Side-by-side action with McConville on the bottom. Schultz going to move to the top. Looking to, will we see 3 wide? No, the 58 of Rose thought better of it. He'll stay in line on the high side. And well, we're going to answer one of our own questions here tonight. Can Abati go and capture win number 3? No, he can't. You got to be in the field to make that happen, and not in the field here tonight. Is your overall points leader, the man leading with 2 race wins so far this season, Christian Abati, not in the field. Missing out also is Doug Argabright. That very familiar black and gold Mobile 1 machine, Argabright, not making the trip. So while your top 2 have stepped away, the battle is right here. Wiggins, Schultz, Rose, McConville, Moore, Dauphin. From 3rd all the way back through 8th. You got about 5-6 drivers all right here in this little bit of a scrum. Zach Miller breaking away just a little bit on Jensen and Gage. And I don't know, man. Jensen and Gage, they seem quite a ways off of the pace. They're running about a half a second slower. Last time around, a half a second slower was Dave Gage from your race leader, Nick Burlow. So could we see some 3 wide for a moment? 3 wide. Holy sh... yeah, anyways. Could we see a possible fuel strategy come into play here? Could Jensen and Gage maybe look at one-stopping this thing? 20 laps in, just about 100 laps to go as we cross the line this time by. 60 laps on a tank of fuel at Chicago. I think you're asking a lot. Could they be looking at maybe 40 laps, maybe a 2-stop race, as opposed to maybe a 3-stop race? But the question is, are they going to be able to overcome the tire deficit, man? They're going to give up a ton of time here. Who knows? On the way to find out. Out of turn number 2, field going to come work their way by the camera. Nick Burlow still leading the field. He's led every single lap here tonight, walking away with the Premier Racing Setup.com Pole Award. Able to fend off the hard charge by the guys at the front of this field. Walk away sitting comfortable as everybody begins to reel in Jeffrey Engel now. Field starting to tighten up once again just a little bit here at the front. Driver's going to be struggling just a little bit more with the handling of the race cars. The 11 of Wiggins going to chop the nose of Schultz. And here comes that run to the front once again for Rose on the bottom, almost into Engel. They're going to keep it clean at the front, not quite clear enough just yet. Looking for a slide job. Way up the racetrack goes Engel. Slide job coming out of the corner. Engel hits the outside wall. A little bit of a scrape. No harm, no foul. We keep it heading in the right direction. And that's going to cost 89 of them. A ton of momentum. And positions on the racetrack, losing 3 spots last time by. Looking to fend off McConville for that 6th position. Side-by-side battle once again for the 2nd spot. Alex Wiggins, Ryan Rose. Gonna go at it for that 2nd position. Derek Moore dropping back through this field. So interesting to see some of these guys really make big runs and a lot of headway. And then falter and fall back just a little bit. Maybe some calculated moves going on with the strategy right now. We've got some big names in the back that seem to have elected just to keep themselves back there. Rose going to switch from the bottom to the top, looking for a little bit of a crossover here. Looks for the crossover out of 4. Can he make it stick in the center of 1 and 2? Not going to have the momentum. Not going to get there. Going to lose that momentum on the corner exit. That's going to benefit Wiggins, who motors right on around. What was once stretched out, now coming back together. Big accordion effect here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway for the Duck and Run 120. The American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Cup Series. Interesting to see, as we said, though. These drivers kind of spread themselves out. But now here we are, almost 30 laps into tonight's race. Green flag laps into tonight's race in the field. Your top 8, all within 2 seconds of each other. Quarter of the race behind us here tonight in Duck and Run 120 from Chicagoland Speedway. Battle for the race lead for the first time here tonight. Alex Wiggins looking for something on the bottom. That's going to open up the door for a big run at a Rose. Rose going to push that 51 into the corner just a little bit. Now looking for the center. Will Rose go 3 wide? Nope, going to stay there. Oh, both drivers gonna drop down on the elevator, come across the nose of Wiggins, now looking for the bottom and the top spot for himself. Ryan Rose digging Catfish Billy, not gonna work. They touch at a 2. Contact, they touch at a 2 down the backstretch. Drag race into turn 3. Who's got the advantage? 58, little bobble on the bottom, gonna wash up the racetrack. That's going to cost him a little bit of momentum, and the 51 of Burlow remains your race leader. For almost 5-car battle for your race lead. Andrew McConville right here. He can see your race leader's rear bumper. These guys going after it here tonight. An amazing job so far. Let's jump on board Taking a look and taking a ride with the man running in that third position, Ryan Rose. Following behind Alex Wiggins, going to stick it to the top side. And for the first time tonight across the stripe, we've got a new race leader here in the Duck and Run 120, Alex Wiggins. Gonna lead a lap here tonight, so Nick Burlow will not have the clean sweep to almost 3 wide. For the race lead, they're gonna figure it all out down the backstretch as Wiggins now has to deal with Rose. Burlow dropping a spot and dropping a second quickly from the top spot back to third. Now under fire from Cody Schultz in the 3M Granger sponsored machine. There you can see Schultz as well as McConville working the bottom side of the racetrack, and the 51 seems to be trapped in, I don't want to say unfamiliar territory, but maybe uncomfortable territory out there on the high side with the car to his driver's door. We're taking a look at the lap times here. Really starting to look at that 404 of Dave Gage. Just has been off pace here since the drop of the green flag. Really just hasn't been able to get anything going. Let's go back here and check in on this 404, as he seems to be just kind of Sunday riding here. Man on a solo mission. We're not talking about Han Solo. There's no Chewie unless it's Chewie Oreos. Chewie Oreos. Chips Ahoy, man. And you know what? Never mind. If you know Dave, you get the reference. If not, stick around. You'll learn. Meanwhile, back at the front, top two opening up about a 3/4 of a second advantage over this trio. Ooh, close. To that outside wall was Burlow. Schultz going to make the pass, make his way by, but Moore going to be the big beneficiary of that battle. He's going to put that Holiday Bourbon machine bottom side of the racetrack, take the 2 positions in 1 corner. Moore going to pick up the podium spot. Cody Schultz back and forth. Burlow going to slide to 5th with Jake Doping up in the mix. And we've got green flag pit stops underway. Your pole sitter. He's led the most laps. He's the first driver to hit pit road. Alex Wiggins going to continue to lead tonight's race. He's got Ryan Rose in tow. Derek Moore about 3/4 of a second back with Cody Schultz behind him. McConville going to pick up 5th. And we thought maybe that 38 Circuit City machine of Zach Miller may have been playing a little bit of strategy, but already on to pit road, it's not going to be the case. Moore and Rose going to hit pit lane this time around. It's going to give Alex a little bit of breathing room at the front of this field. Let's see how he can do with a little bit of pressure relieved. When will he bring that Detroit Lions sponsored number 11 to pit road? Well, there's your answer. He's going to bring it right now. Jake Dofing going to stay out on the racetrack, become just our 3rd different leader of tonight's race. And you know, I'm really starting to think that Dave may be trying to pull a fast one here. I think Dave Gage may be trying to pull a one-stop race here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway. Jake Dofing going to head to pit lane. Daniel Jensen, he's going to stay out on the racetrack. Jeffrey Engel and Dave Gage yet to hit pit road as well. So your top three on the racetrack still yet to make their first green flag pit stop. Everybody clean and clear so far. Nobody popped for speeding by the pit road police. So everybody on their P's and Q's here tonight on pit lane. Earliest driver to pit lane was Nick Burlow. He was about 3/4 of a second slower on his stop than Ryan Rose, and I believe that may have benefited Rose. Rose looks like he has taken that position away. And not stretching that fuel far enough. Dave Gage to hit the pit road this time by. Jeffrey Engel also hitting pit lane. That's going to leave Daniel Jensen, the lone dove, out there. Still needing some fuel and tires. When will Jensen pull the plug and head to pit lane? Rose out front with Burlow behind. Wiggins going to move into 5th for the moment. A little look here at this 58 as there you can see Daniel Jensen onto pit lane. A newcomer rookie debut race here tonight in the Duck and Run 120 live from Chicagoland Speedway. The A.S.M.R. Hauck Designs Cup Series. Ryan Rose making a name, showing up to spoil it. After the round of green flag pit stops, everybody remains on the lead lap. Dave Gage flirting with possibly losing a lap here right around the halfway point. 24 seconds behind your race leader, Ryan Rose. And only about a 4-lap difference on the tires, so Gage not going to be able to make up a ton of time. We're going to go back. Let's look for one of our battles on the racetrack if we can, guys. Can we get one? Can we find one? Is there one? Yeah, let's go right here. Nick Burlow, Alex Wiggins, Cody Schultz. Burlow trying to chase down that top spot. Once again, Alex Wiggins was your race leader as the green flag pit stops began. Cody Schultz has pretty much ran inside of the top 5 all race long. And for Schultz, that's going to keep a streak alive. He's the only driver that has finished inside of the top 5 every single time he's hit the racetrack. If you remember last week at Dover, Cody wasn't with us, so you can't hold that one against him. 3 race starts, 3 top 5s. Schultz looking to make it 4 and be one of the most consistent drivers that we've seen so far here in season number 11. And even when missing last week's race, Cody sitting 4th in the overall point standing, so that consistency can come in pretty handy later on in the season. We got a battle for the race lead now. Nick Burlow, Ryan Rose going to go at it for the top spot. Wiggins lined up on the high side. Schultz going to drift his way to the bottom now, back to the top 2 verse 1. They're going to give that lap to Burlow. Nick Burlow going to reclaim the race lead easily. take the top spot with a little bit of help from Wiggins from behind. Big draft run, gonna easily bypass that 58. Two by two here at Chicagoland Speedway for your top 4 positions on the track. Derek Moore sitting in 5th, just has the windshield full of action out in front of him. Let's go on board. Do we got that onboard shot, guys? No, the one from the driver camp there. See, this is why I love you guys. Front row seat for all the action at the front. Derek Moore, I can assure you, would like to be up there battling for the race lead, but watching all of these guys mix it up and go after it, sitting in the catbird seat, if you will, with almost a 2.5 second advantage over Andrew McConville, who runs in 6th. Derek Moore in a very premium position here. He can get a little bit of this draft. He can get a little bit closer to the back end of Rose. May be able to sniff a little bit of the draft and save some fuel. Over the second run, we're going to look for drivers to head to pit road here in about 30 laps. We should see drivers on pit lane for what could be their final stop of the race. You can see Dave Gage trying to stay out in front of your race leaders as they make their way back into 3 and 4. Nick Burlow still your race leader. Alex Wiggins right behind him. Cody Schultz going to pick up that 3rd spot as we got a battle for 4th and 5th. Moore has been able to reel in Ryan Rose with a little bit of help from that draft that we were talking about. Wiggins back at the top, going to reclaim the race lead. Burlow going to slide back into 2nd with Schultz sitting in 3rd. Right around the corner from the halfway point, so we're going to give you your mid-race report, your halfway rundown. 11 drivers took to the grid here tonight. We have still got all 11 out on the track. All 11 still remain on the lead lap. Your Premier Racing Setup.com Pole Award winner Nick Burlow, currently sitting in 2nd, has led the most laps here tonight. Looks like he struggles just a little bit the back end of the run. Alex Wiggins sitting in that top spot. Cody Schultz with a great night, started in 3rd, remains in 3rd, and our biggest mover of tonight's race behind the wheel of his Brett's Electric number 5 Fast Ford Mustang. Or I apologize, Ryan Rose behind the wheel of a Camaro. We're eyeballing that 3M Granger Ford of Schultz. While talking about Ryan Rose, who's just outside of the picture there, you can see that Brett's Electric Camaro come into focus. Up 6 positions from where he qualified, so from 10th to 4th, a great run for the rookie. And there it is again. Nick Burlow just losing a little bit of that ground in the late. Ooh. Whew. The late going. Possibly dropping back yet another position here. Burlow struggling on the long run. Cody Schultz looking to utilize the momentum as we've got 3 wide through the center of 1 and 2. It's going to pan out for Rose for a moment. He's going to pick up 2 spots, 1 corner. That's a way to find the front, move the 58 back into second. Burlow right up the track. Right up the racetrack, right across the nose of that number 16 machine. As again, Burlow just seems to be struggling with the handling as we reach late into this green flag run. And we're still about 15 laps away from seeing these guys make their into the outside wall. Derek Moore contact with the outside wall. We're still about 15 laps away from seeing these drivers have to hit pit road for what could be the final stop of their night. We have been clean and green all night long here tonight, so I don't really foresee too many things that could go wrong, but there is a lot of raciness at the front of this field as we run up on the back marker. Dave Gage, the 404, well off pace here tonight. Top 3 slowly pulling away from Burlow, dropping back about 3/4 of a second, now dropping yet another position. Moore and Burlow going to fight it out for 5th and 6th on the racetrack. Alex Wiggins still digging, still looking to get that race lead back from Rose. And I love to see when a rookie comes in, it does well. But as a seasoned vet, if I'm behind the wheel of that 11 or the 5, I'm going to make it as insanely tough as I can for Rose to pull this thing out. I can't have, excuse us, I can't have a rookie show up, have a non-existent happy hour, a mediocre qualifying attempt, and then come out and walk the dog on. Ain't no way I'm letting it happen. We'll see how these drivers feel about that. And that's not a shot, Ryan, if your crew's watching, if any of the fans, friends, followers are watching. It's not a knock on you, bro. It's just... I can't let you do it to me like that. You can't do me like that on day 1. You know what I mean? Like, maybe week 2, week 3, we get it. But I just can't have you do it on week 1. I'm gonna make it as tough as I possibly can. That's just me, though. Maybe that's why I'm retired and in the booth. Who knows? Although my 3 championships may say otherwise. I had to plug that in there, but nonetheless. Top three have pulled away from Derek Moore, who's been able to get by Nick Burlow, who slides back into that fifth position, still over a 1 second advantage back to Andrew McConville running in sixth. Wiggins still searching for a way around, looking to break the momentum, get a little sniff of the draft here down the backstretch. Snaking, trying to break that draft is the 58. Not going to be too successful here. Chicagoland pretty much a wide open racetrack. You can, however, you can kind of drive that second car into the outside wall. If you can catch them following you long enough, you can kind of, oh, and there it is. You can get that, you can get them to have that false sense of security and almost drive them right up to that wall. All of their own doing, and we've seen a little bit of that right there coming out of two. Gives Rose about a car length and a half as we cross the line. Lap number 74 going to go on the board. Things still heating up for your race lead. You're watching the Duck and Run 120 with the A.S.M.R. Hauck Designs Cup Series. And there it is, into that outside wall once again for the 11 of Alex Wiggins. And that's kind of what you got to watch out for as well. You may have a very fast car, but you flirt on the edge of disaster looking for speed. And you'd see a little bit of the sheet metal rubbed off on that right front. Contact with the outside wall on corner exit turn 2 out of the 4 last times around. You can see what that momentum does for Wiggins when he can keep it out of the outside wall. Just a struggle here on older tires, a little bit of dirty air on the front end of the car. I can really upset. Woo! A little bit of contact can upset the car too. Oh my goodness. Things getting heated at the front. Look for the 58 to slide up the racetrack. A little bit of contact with the right rear for Wiggins. Looked like the 58 was going to try the slide job. Figured out he wasn't going to clear. It's enough to give Wiggins the momentum he needed. But coveted space on the racetrack, hard to come by. And if you're in that 5 right now, how close do you want to be to this tough battle for the race lead? These two guys in front of you, they are going at it pretty heavy here. I wondered, is the move to maybe give him a little bit of room? Big wiggle. The Rose on the bottom. That's going to give Wiggins just the break that he was looking for. He's going to slide out front here. 58 packs it in on the bottom of the racetrack. Great run through the center of the corner for the 58, able to pull almost even again with Wiggins as they make their way back into 1 and 2. 40 laps to go this time by. Here in the A.S.M.R. Hauck Designs Cup Series Duck and Run 120, brought to you by PremierRacingSetup.com. And we got problems. We got trouble on the racetrack. Oh no, coming off of pit road, Burlow gonna have some problems. So what started off as a great night seems to have bit Burlow. Here are the final 40 to 50 laps. Let's take a look at the replay real quick here. Here you can see Burlow peeling out of that first pit stall. Oh, yeah, there it is. See the car just break traction there. We're going to look at it one more time here. Let's take one more look. See if we can pinpoint right when... It's almost right when he gasses it up. The car breaks traction a little bit, tries to catch it in the steering box, and unfortunately, it's going to be right about 3, 2, 1. Right there, you can see the rear of the car start to break out just a little bit, tries to correct it. That's going to get the car looser up the racetrack now. That is heavy hard contact. For what was your pole sitter, what was your race leader for the vast majority of tonight's race, and now Nick Burlow. Ooh. He got a lot to deal with. On pit road first, off of pit road first, behind the wheel of his number 58 Brett's electric machine, Ryan Rose. It's at the top spot. So as the laps count down, the sun sets, the lights starting to come on here. We're going to finish tonight's Duck and Run 120 under the lights here at Chicagoland Speedway. Alex Wiggins and Ryan Rose will bring us back to the green flag. Jake Tofin and Cody Schultz in row 2. McConville Jensen back in row number 3. Moore and Engel, Miller and Cage. Final cars on the track. Pace car into the restart zone. We roll, and green flag flies once again here from Chicagoland Speedway. Rose with an amazing start, man. Just took off and left these guys. Sheesh. Hot little hand right here around that number 13 machine of Jake Doping. Looking to hang it high. Through 1 and 2. Little bit of a wiggle. On the corner entry, a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Daniel Jensen going to pick up a spot. He's going to move inside of the top 5. Zach Miller knocking on the top 5 door once again. And once again, Dave Gage just does not get going. Interesting night here for that 404. A little bit of contact with the outside wall once again for that holiday bourbon. Number 16 machine of Derek Moore moving his way into the top 5 now. About the turnaround race for the 38 Circuit City machine of Zach Miller. Qualified in the 9th position. Made his way inside of the top 5. Fell back all the way to around that 9th or 10th position again. And has made his way back to 7th. Up and down yo-yo night for the man behind the wheel of that number 38 machine. Ooh, we got fist flying at the front of this field. Somebody gonna go home with a bloody nose tonight, I'm telling you. These guys are just fighting too hard for there not to be a problem at the front of this field. Wiggins and Rose almost coming together about 2 laps ago. That allowed Cody Schultz to bounce, move his way into 3rd. A little bit of contact between the 58 and the 4 coming down the backstretch and into 3. That's going to move Jensen into 3rd. Now struggling with the grip on the bottom. Things going to get tight here with the 13 in the middle of the racetrack. Going to be down to 30 laps to go this next time by. And just look how quick it changes. Just how big the momentum it truly is here at Chicagoland Speedway. That 58 of Ryan Rose, he was just up there in the race lead and battling for the race lead. Now he finds himself all the way outside of the top 5, struggling with drivers on the path right behind him. He could possibly go from 1st to 9th within 5 laps. Unbelievable. Ooh, looking for a little bit on the bottom of the racetrack. 38 of Zach Miller. Almost into that left rear of Ryan Rose. Battle at the front once again. Here comes Cody Schultz. Schultz said, I had enough of watching you guys battle in front of me. I want a piece of the action. Sitting in 2nd. What will he do at a 4? Tight, close battles at the front of this field for the first time here tonight. There you can see that Boise Cascade number 13 machine got that Evernham number font. Woo! The 5 and 13 both pancaking the right side of the car. $25 to go, but this thing is far from over here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. Alex Wiggins out front, Cody Schultz on the hunt. Jake Doping right here trying to capitalize on a fine run through the field this evening. Daniel Jensen sitting in fourth. Ryan Rose trying to recover. Now back into fifth. Schultz looking like he wants to do something with the front of the field. Gonna work his way now down to the bottom of the racetrack. Looks for the top spot, unable to get there just yet. Man, this is... Drivers were last to pit road right around lap number 81, so theoretically speaking here, everybody should have enough fuel to make it to the end of tonight's race. I wouldn't expect to see anybody come down for a green flag pit stop. So, right here, into the outside wall goes Dofing. We've seen it sail it off on the entry to turn 3, way on the high side of that's never going to work itself out. Have we seen the final caution flag fly for the night? Will we see it stay clean and green for the final 20 laps here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway? And I don't know. It's getting a little feisty, getting a little testy. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd like to see a little bit of controversy. You know, why not? I'm not the one that has to race it. You know what I'm saying? So, a little bit of controversy for me isn't that big of a deal. Some of these drivers may have differing opinions, but they're in the car driving, so not much they can do about it. Just kidding, just playing, just kidding. All jokes aside, it has been one hell of a race here tonight. At the start of tonight's race, we've seen a little bit of a breakout. The field all brought themselves back together, and it has been non-stop battles inside of your top 5 ever since. Multiple lead changes here tonight under these green flag conditions. Nobody really utilizing the green flag pit cycle to get the race lead, to keep the race lead. Things have been pretty fluid here tonight at the front of the field. A little bit of contact last time around for Rose. As drivers can see the time running out, they're going to be a little... Whoa, and there's contact. Rose with contact on Dofing. Does he save it? No, he doesn't. Jake Dofing going to go into the outside wall after the contact between himself and Ryan Rose. A little bit of contact sends the 13 into the outside wall. We're going to check the replay, and we're going to catch it a little bit late there, but let's check one more look at it if we can. There's a little bit of contact. That's a little bit tougher hit than what we thought it may have been. for that Boise Cascade, number 13 of Jake Doping. So we may see him on pit road for a little bit of an extended stay, but with 15 laps to go, I'm calling it now. Pit road's open. Bring me for tires in whatever fuel you can get in. As soon as the jack drops on the left side, I'm gone. And I don't even care if you put any fuel in it. I'm coming to get tires. If we're going to see what these crew chiefs are thinking, we're going to see how these drivers are feeling. But with it being a mad dash, we've already been out there for about 20 plus laps. I want fresh tires. It looks like most of the driver's sentiment going to remain the same. Daniel Jensen looked like he may be the only driver to roll the dice, and that's going to be a lonely, lonely road for him. But sometimes you got to do what your opponents aren't, and, well, we may see something come from the strategy here for Jensen, but while we got a little bit of a break in the action, we're going to take a short commercial break, be back for all the green flag action as we get set for the finish here tonight in the Duck and Run 120. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And backtrack side, as promised, not missing any of the action, has the pace car ready to hit road once again. We're ready to fire it off for what could be the final time into the restart zone on the gas, and green flag flies once again. Final 12 laps on the board. Daniel Jensen electing to stay out under our latest caution. Bit of a tire disadvantage. We'll see if that Panini Ford can keep it at the front, and he's quickly gonna have company. Added to Derek Moore, gonna take the top spot. Rose a little bit of a chop shot right there. Getting into the corner. Now looking for the crossover out of Ford down to the bottom of the racetrack. Not gonna get it at the line, but new race leader by the time they reach one. Ryan Rose going to take the top spot here with 11 to go. Things fixing to get dicey. The glove's gonna come off, I'm telling you. We got a feeling I got a feeling. I got a feeling. Things still looking pretty dicey at the front of the field. A lot of battling going on here. Everybody jockeying for position, and Rose liking what he sees behind him. This is almost what he does not want to see. Drivers getting in a line, drivers getting somewhat organized. Here comes Derek Moore back to the bottom of the racetrack. Cody Schultz going to run the fastest lap of the race last time around, 30:45. Schultz with a little bit of horsepower. And he's kept hidden from the field, sitting in fourth for the moment. Does that 3M Granger sponsored number 5 machine have anything to get back to the front with 7 to go? We'll drop the timing and scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen once again. Wiggins all over the tail end of Rose. My goodness. Oh my God. I'm not driving in that scared me. Holy Jesus, Derek Moore slid in there. Contact with the outside wall. Moore gonna suffer. Schultz looking for third once again as Wiggins moves to second. Top 5, throw a blanket over him. 6th and 7th right there as well. Daniel Jensen falling deep in the field. After a strategy play just did not go his way, Field will receive the high five this time around from the boss man in the flag stand. Just 5 laps to go here from Chicagoland Speedway. More, another scrape of the wall coming out of 2. Keeping our eye on the battle at the front of the field, but affixed right now for that final podium position. Derek Moore holding serve with Cody Schultz, Andrew McConville, and Zach Miller right here. Oh my goodness. Contact, center exit off. That's going to open up the race lead for Rose and Wiggins a little bit more. Oh, we got big contact. Heavy contact through the center of 3 and 4. That's going to move Schultz into third. Moore's not going to be happy, but we got 3 laps to go here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway. It's all about these 2 guys at the front. What is Wiggins willing to do for a race win? Can you let the rookie win in his debut night? Talked about it earlier tonight, gave you my opinions. We'll see if they hold true. Popsicle sticks on display. 3 miles of racing action remain in front of these American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Cup Series drivers. And I don't know if Wiggins can get there. He's going to have a hell of a final lap and a half. Closing in on the apron, we've got the white flag final lap here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway. Just about 3/4 of a mile separate Rose from his first checkered flag into 3 for the final time out of 4. Into the line. Gonna cross it off the list early here in his career with the A.S.M.R Hauck Designs Cup Series. But this man right here found a way to get it to the front, and he is going to walk away with a race win in his debut here on Wednesday night with the Turn 3 Racing Network. An amazing job, man. Up 9 positions from where he qualified. He is the biggest mover in the race, and he's going to have a little bit of a post-race smoke show for the fans in the stands. Yet another sold-out packed house here tonight for the A.S.M.R Hauck Designs Cup Series. And there it is, burning it down with his celebrations. We're going to get things set up and ready to go for your post-race show. So as he enjoys this moment, we're going to enjoy a little commercial break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And backtrack side for the post-race show after a phenomenal duck and run 120 for the A.S.M.R Hauck Designs Cup Series. Let's get right to it. Let's jump directly into this post-race show. Let's see if we can dial up and have a few words with the man behind the wheel of that number 16 machine, walking away with yet another podium finish so far this season. Derek, this is Dave. You got a copy?
I got a copy, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It seems like you're, making this kind of a common theme as of late, so we'll see how it continues to roll for you. How you feeling about a solid points day at a just a wide open track?
Well, first things first, I want to apologize to Cody there on the exit of 4 coming to the line. I definitely sent a big move going into 3, and I tried to I tried to get up and either slow his progress or fall in behind, and I hooked his corner and stuffed him into the wall, and I think he lost like 2 or 3 spots out of it. So apologize for that. It was great racing him, great racing everybody else in the race. Really, it kind of took me a while to figure out how to drive this car around this track. Very very small changes or errors would make for like a 3 or 4 tenth like loss in time every single lap, and I was struggling with that. And I just could not get track position. Both my my first 2 pit stops, I missed my stall, and like with the sequential in these things, it takes forever to get into reverse. So I was fighting from behind the whole time, but those last couple of runs were a lot of fun.
Well, man, we're heading to a little bit of an unknown for a lot of drivers this season, especially in this car. Heading to Motegi next week before the All-Star Week break. How you feeling about the season?
Well, I'd be feeling better if I hadn't wrecked last week. Not too bad. I'd have to see where points are after tonight. It's a shame Christian missed, but that helps me gain points on him. I'm sure. Well, me and Wiggins might be kind of tight, but so far it's going pretty good. Going into Motegi next week, it's going to be a wild card. I think everyone's going to be struggling from the get-go, but it could make for some interesting racing. I think it'll be a little boring, to be honest, but it's going to be pretty tough and hard fought every lap.
Boring. We don't do boring around here. We'll play tic-tac-no or something up here in the booth if we have to. I don't know. We'll make something up if we need to. But no, I don't think that's ever going to be an issue. Even a light crowd here tonight as far as on-track participants, fans in the stands still filling in. So an amazing night of racing still with a lower car count here tonight at a pretty wide-open track. So I'm sure you guys are going to bring it next week at Motegi anyways. But anyhow, Derek, again, congratulations with a great run here tonight, walking away third, final position on the podium. Before we let you go, you know the drill, so the mic is yours.
Oh, just thank you for broadcasting, and as usual, thanks to admins for putting on these races. Thanks to my wife for letting me do this. This is like 3 days in a row of league races this week. So putting up with that, and then thanks to my teammates. Andy, shout out to Andy. He had a really good run tonight. I think he's feeling better about himself than he has in the past. So I just want to thank everybody on the track and off, and just glad to be able to bring home this Ford in third place.
Well, Derek, again, always a pleasure to catch up with you at the end of these things. We'll see if we can talk at the end of Motegi next week, or a little bit later on throughout this year. But until then, my friend, you know the deal. So stay safe, keep it fast. All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away third here tonight, making it a little bit of a common theme here in season number 11. Derek Moore going to walk away with third. Yet another podium spot. We're going to go talk to yet another driver that has made some splashes and some headway so far this season. He's going to walk away second from the track here tonight. Alex is Dave. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Dave.
Well, man, you still sporting that Detroit Lions theme? Or are you racing with a little chip on your shoulder?
I'm tired of finishing second.
It just fit, so I had to kind of throw a little salt in the wounds. You know what I mean? But no, man, hell of a race, hell of a night for you. Led a handful of laps here tonight. Do you think there's anything you may have been able to do different on that final restart or those final 5 laps to maybe change the outcome?
I don't really think I could have done much more. It all just came back to pit, and I should have taken 2 tires. I knew somebody would have, and that should have gave me the key to do it, but I was stupid as always and took 4, and it did not work.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say you were stupid. You still walked away with a hell of a finish, man. You started second, finished in second, led a handful of laps. We got some crazy events coming up here next week. We're heading to Motegi, then a little bit of fun run with the All-Star event before we start that second half of the season countdown. So all in all, how you feeling about the way this season's unfolded in this first half, and how you feeling about the way things may unfold the second half?
The first half has gone. It's been a roller coaster. I think that's the best way to put it. But yeah, you said it. Motegi never raced there. Iowa and Sonoma, I've never raced there, so it'll be fun to see. I think we have Atlanta, Michigan, Homestead, all been there, so I'm feeling pretty good about the second half.
Well, man, if it's anything like the first half, I think you're going to be one of the drivers in the conversation when we do hit those final, I would say, race or two, those final 2 weeks before we crown our season 11 champion. You came into tonight's race sitting 5th in the overall point standings, just 15 points back. You're going to make up a little bit of headway and ground on the drivers that were in front of you. So going into Motegi, you're sitting in a good spot. We'll see what happens when we leave there. I think a lot of drivers are just going to pray that they make it through. Is that kind of the feeling you got going into next week? You just get me to the end of it.
I think that you said it. That's going to be the mindset for a lot of us. I don't think many of us have raced there before, and if we have, it hasn't been very much. So yeah, just take it easy, take it simple, and try to just get to the end of it.
Well, a great run for you here tonight, you and that 11 crew. Alex, before we let you go, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Just the admins for everything that they're doing, putting this on, and you for the broadcast and the guys that come out and put this on every week.
Well, Alex, short and sweet and right to the point. We're going to look to see if we can catch up with you next week at Motegi. And who knows, we may load up the production gear and just come out and have just a fun night for the All-Star Week. We'll see how everything unfolds here. But nonetheless, great night, great points day. Until next time, my man, stay safe and keep it fast.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that parks it in second. We're going to move our way now into victory lane. It's a little bit early for Valentine's Day, but somehow I still ended up with a rose. That's a corny joke, but I had to figure out something. Ryan, man, how's it feel to debut in victory lane?
Pretty good. I just wanted to come in here just, to have fun and just race. I didn't show up for qualifying at all. I showed up with like a minute left in the session to where I could enter. So I was like, all right, I guess I will. And hope they let me in. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love racing these cars, even though they kind of drive like poop, but it's a lot of fun to race and a lot of fun to race with good competitive guys. So, yeah.
Well, Ryan,
I had a lot of fun.
I don't really sugarcoat things. I don't hold back, except for language, because, FCC laws and all that. Anyways, but seeing you pop in, and I was like, who in the world is this guy? And then you went from the back to the front in about 6 laps. I said, wait a minute, who is this guy? You had me saying, who is this guy, pretty much all night long, and now I know you're one of the guys that are going to be up for those race wins when you show up. You do like the car. I'm not sure you're going to like some of these combos and tracks we got coming up. I mean, Tegi's in the mix next week. That's going to be a little bit of a race, but Sonoma, we got some road courses, all types of stuff. Fun. Yeah, I don't think anybody has. I don't think anybody has. I think they made it, and it's just been like a tourist attraction. I don't know.
Mhm. It's from what I've seen anyway, that track is a lot of fun. But I love road courses, and especially in this car, I really like road courses because they drive actually pretty, what I would think is realistic, and yeah, I really just like this car just about anywhere, which is really weird compared to other people on the platform, but yeah.
Well, man, you came into the season after a handful of races. You're going to be behind in the point standings. If you can rip off a handful of wins here, you might make a splash, might be able to somehow point your way into this championship battle. We'll see how it goes for you, but before we let you go and celebrate the win under the lights here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, maybe thank anybody back home or at the race shop?
Well, my mom, my dad, they helped me out a lot, and Brett's Electric, they're kind of a real life sponsor. I also work for them, so that kind of helps too. But yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, my man. Well, on that note, we won't keep you much longer. Enjoy this race win. We'll look forward to catching up with you once again. But until then, stay safe. And as always, keep it fast.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there you have it. Fun, a few words from your race winner. Just happy to be here. He is a driver that does like the car, likes some of the races that we have coming up in these next handful of weeks. So watch for Ryan Rose to be the sweetheart of the second half of the season. I couldn't help myself. I just had to throw some Valentine's Day stuff in there. I mean, come on. What better chance and opportunity than the Wednesday prior talking to a man named Rose in Victory Lane? It doesn't get much better than that. Like, I can't script it good enough. Whatever. On script, as producers hit those buttons in the background, you know the familiar sounds. You know it's time to run down tonight's unofficial race results in the Duck and Run 120 live on Chicagoland Speedway for the A.S.M.R. Hauck Designs Cup Series debut rookie race, and he is going to make a big name for himself. Ryan Rose will walk away with the checkered flag here tonight. Alex Wiggins going to park it in second, with Derek Moore finishing out your podium drivers tonight. 38 Circuit City Machine of Zach Miller going to finish in fourth, with Cody Schultz keeping that top 5 streak alive. The number 5 3M Granger sponsored machine will finish in 5th. Slotting home in 6th here tonight, Andrew McConville, with Jeffrey Engel right behind him in 7th. 404 of Dave Gage comes home in 8th. Daniel Jensen back in 9th. Jake Dofing, late race trouble, relegates that Boise Cascade machine to 10th. Nick Burlow, your Premier Racing Setup.com Pole Award winner, gonna walk away 11th here tonight. Tough race for Burlow. After leading the most laps, gonna finish on pin lane. That's going to be it for your race results. Want to give a big shout out to each and every one of the sponsors that make this thing happen. Huge shout out to the longest standing and running setup shop for iRacing.com. Whether it's asphalt all the way to dirt, they got something to get a handful of tents out of you. Once again, you can look them up or click the link down in the description. Once again, that is PremierRacingSetups.com. We would be remiss if we didn't mention the title and series sponsor, Hauck Designs, for all your paint, driver suits, pit box needs. Look them up. That's Hauck Designs. Mountain Mafia Kennels, the best bully breeders in Western North Carolina. If you're in the market for a new bully, look no further than Mountain Mafia Kennels. In the original Intimidator spot in Newton, North Carolina, Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. If you're looking to get a fast track loan off the track, you can head on over to DaleEarnhardtChevrolet.com. That's going to do it for us. That's going to be it. We're going to begin to cut off the lights and roll up these cords. But before we go, if you haven't already, remember to join us in that continued push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love and drop a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Smash that bell. Over there on the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. So with that being said, stay safe. Stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.